Unstoppable blessings, prayer for life that transforms your mornings forever. The fact is, mornings are a battlefield. For most people, the alarm feels like an intruder ripping them from their dreams. But what if you could wake up every single day with a surge of energy, hope, and purpose? Picture this: on an ordinary Tuesday, in a small town veiled in early morning fog, the first rays of sun broke through the clouds like a revelation, a heartfelt prayer whispered into the universe, promising to change everything. And then it happened. A mysterious neighbor, Miss Clara, was seen in her garden, hands raised to the sky like she was coaxing something down. Every passerby felt the magnetic pull of her presence. Flowers seemed to bloom brighter, colors more vivid. Birds sang in concert, their melodious tunes echoing a forgotten joy. Something was different about that morning, a crackling energy in the air, a pulse that beckoned intrigue. Just as Sam, an average guy on his way to work, felt the strange allure draw him closer to Miss Clara, he noticed an oddly familiar yet unsettling symbol etched into the ground, a spiraling sun wheel, pulsating as if alive. A tightness gripped his chest, a chilling sensation, for he had seen that symbol before in old, dusty books. Mysteries swirled within his mind. What connection did it have to this whimsical woman? Did she possess powers beyond reckoning? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. With heart pounding like a drum in his ears, Sam realized he stood at the edge of something monumental. What other secrets did Miss Clara hold? Why did the air hum with expectancy? As the sun broke free of the clouds, a shadow crossed over the garden, wrapping it in an uneasy gloom. Just then, an old woman's shout pierced the air, "Stay away from her." The words held a grave warning, dark and foreboding. Sam's feet hesitated. Curiosity collided sharply with fear. What had he just wandered into? With questions swirling in his mind, he knew he had to uncover Ms. Clara's truth, a truth that might transform everything he believed. And so, with a deep breath, he took a step forward into the unknown. What awaited him? Only the coming dawn would reveal. The shadow over the garden deepened as Sam's breath quickened. Each heartbeat echoed in his ears, loud and insistent, urging him to turn back. But curiosity rooted him to the spot, as if the ground itself tied him there. He glanced at the old woman who had shouted. Her face was lined with years of worry, eyes shimmering with a mix of fear and desperation. She shook her head, continuing to bark warnings that fell on deaf ears. A sudden wind whipped through the garden, making the flowers tremble. Even the chirping birds fell silent, as if sensing the tension. Miss Clara didn't flinch. Instead, she smiled, a serene expression contrasting body language that hinted at power, a hidden strength that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. "What do you want?" Sam croaked, his voice trembling. It felt absurd to ask, yet he felt drawn to her, as if he were marionette and she held the strings. "I want to share a blessing," she replied, still gazing skyward. Her voice was soft, but carried an undertone of authority that made Sam's heart race. "But you, my dear, must be willing to hear it." A heaviness descended as he considered her words. What did she mean? Was she talking about prayer, or something much darker? He had read about such things, ancient rituals that could bend the fabric of reality. Had he stumbled onto something sacred or something sinister? With each second, the spiraling sunwheel pulsed, emitting a faint glow that seemed to beckon him closer, igniting a whirlwind of conflicting emotions within him. The lingering whispers of the town's past echoed in his mind, the tales of Ms. Clara, the enigmatic woman whose presence left a trail of mystery, marrying tales of healing with rumors of curses. why should I trust you? He pressed, trying to wrestle control over his spiraling thoughts. The old woman cast her gaze toward him, desperation etched into her brow. Because trusting her could save you. Before he could respond, a loud crash echoed through the street as a tree, seemingly untouched moments before, splintered and fell, narrowly missing a parked car. Gasps erupted, and people began to gather, their eyes wide and fearful. The scene shifted and urgency enveloped the atmosphere, where the ordinary turned terrifying in an instant. The town felt alive, wheeling through the chaos of nature as secrets surfaced. Ms. Clara didn't flinch. The forces between us are more powerful than you can imagine, she insisted, her hands still raised. But every blessing comes at a cost. What cost? Sam barked back, wanting answers but fearing the truth. He felt the air thicken, as if the very world had paused to listen. Another wave of energy surged, prickling his skin. Was it the sun wheel, or was it something within him awakening? Faced with a choice to trust a woman whose reputation was both revered and feared, Sam hesitated, every instinct screaming at him to flee, yet staying felt inevitable. Before he could decide, Ms. Clara met his gaze, her expression suddenly fierce. You must make your choice, Sam. The time is short. A blinding light erupted from the sun wheel, illuminating the garden and casting long shadows of the onlookers. Sam felt a magnetic tug, a call to step forward. Could this be the transformative moment he'd been yearning for, or would he open a door he couldn't close? With all eyes on him, uncertainty danced in the air, thick and tangible. Sam took a hesitant step forward, drawn to the light and the promise of a blessing, ignoring the instincts fighting to protect him. And then, just when he thought he'd made his choice, the earth trembled beneath him louder than the crashing tree, a rumble that resonated deep in the marrow of his bones. What had he done? As reality shifted around him, a new fear crept in. The question lingered, was he too late to turn back? The ground began to crack, and through the fissures, eerie whispers emerged. Sam felt the pull of destiny, a force beyond his control. In the midst of the turmoil, he realized something vital was about to be unleashed, a destiny waiting for him to seize. What lay beneath those whispers might reshape everything. Would he dare to uncover it? The ground erupted, twisting and buckling as fissures splintered outward like a spider's web. Sam stumbled back, panic surging through him. His heart thundered, drowning out the terrified gasps of the gathering crowd, a symphony of palpable fear filling the air. Faces turned to him, eyes wide with confusion, awe, and horror. They were watching, waiting, holding their breath. Ms. Clara stood firm, her eyes locked onto his. You've begun this, Sam. Her voice, steady amidst the chaos, cut through the confusion. You must confront what's coming. What's coming? He shouted, trying to sound resolute, though his chest tightened with dread. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of disembodied voices colliding into an overwhelming chorus. Secrets? Sorrows? He shuddered as ancient instincts warned him to run, but where would he go? The garden transformed around him, a disorienting landscape where vibrant colors blurred, shaping themselves into shadowy figures beckoning from the cracks in the ground. Each crack pulsed with an unsettling rhythm, like a heartbeat from the very earth itself. It was as if unseen eyes were privy to all of his fears and wishes, all his longings and insecurities laid bare. Accept the blessing. Ms. Clara urged, her voice rising above the chaos. Find within yourself what has always been there. A dizzying flash ignited from the sun wheel and a warm light enveloped his being, casting sharp contrasts around him. Time felt suspended, the air thick with potential, with something waiting just beyond. He felt alive, a flicker of hope amidst the uncertainty. Sam clenched his fists, the sudden rush of courage flooding his veins. Maybe this was what he needed. A chance to break free from the monotony of his life, to embrace whatever lay beyond the ordinary. But doubts wormed their way back into his mind like venomous snakes, hissing, what if it's a curse instead? A new voice emerged through the whispers, deep and resonant, echoing within him, "Awaken the truth that binds you." The hairs on his neck stood up as the ground rumbled beneath him again. He could feel that energy surging through his bones, pulling at him, demanding recognition. It was intoxicating, but fear swaddled it like a sinister shroud. "Make your choice," Miss Clara implored, thrusting her hands toward the sunwheel. The glow intensified, illuminating the shadows that danced at the edge of his vision. They morphed into fleeting images of lives unlived, paths not taken. Desperate breaths left his lungs as despair clawed at him. As he gazed into the gathering light, Sam wondered about the cost of this moment, its potential to reshape his destiny forever. Would he surrender to the unknown, to whatever entities hid beneath the cracks? With a deep inhale, he felt the weight of the crowd's eyes on him. What would happen if he took that leap? Would he gain power or would he unleash devastation? The choice felt monumental, an intersection of his fate caught between possibility and peril. Just then, a scream broke through the tension, slicing the air like a knife. Sam whipped around to see a woman in the crowd, her face pale, eyes wide with terror. "Look!" she cried, pointing toward the sunwheel. All heads turned, the air thick as the light enveloped the garden in an otherworldly radiance. A shape began to emerge from the heart of the glowing sphere, a figure, tall and cloaked, stepping forward as if bridging the gap between this world and another. As the figure materialized, Sam felt the ground shift underfoot, solidifying his decision. All at once, the whispers became a roar, deafening and chaotic. "Accept us, join us, embrace your fate." Suddenly, a chill ran down his spine, disrupting the warmth of the sunwheel's glow. With a heart pounding in his chest, he took a step forward. But what awaited him was more monstrous than he could ever anticipate. Would he be able to handle the truth of this new reality? Or had he unleashed something he could never control? The figure in the sunwheel emerged with an intensity that pierced through the swirling chaos. A hooded cloak draped around it like liquid shadows, hiding its face but not the oppressive sense of dread that followed it. Sam felt the collective gasp of the crowd, a sharp intake of breath that hung in the air, thickening with fear. "Who are you?" he yelled, his voice trembling despite his efforts to stand firm. "What do you want?" The figure paused, as if savoring the moment, and the whispers grew louder, a chorus of lost voices clawing at the edges of his mind. Each syllable was steeped in anguish, yet strangely compelling, wrapped in the promise of answers yet shrouded in mystery. "In you lies a choice," it intoned, the voice resonating like thunder rumbling through the ground. "A path to greatness, or destruction." The figure shifted closer, the cloak parting just enough to reveal a hand extending toward Sam, palm open, beckoning him. "Accept the truth of your heritage. Embrace what you are destined to be." The sky above darkened, clouds swirling with ominous energy, and Sam felt that lure pulling stronger, drowning out the crowd's fearful murmurs. Images began flooding his mind, visions of power, infinite possibilities, swirling magic entwined with the very fabric of existence, but as alluring as they seemed, that darkness tugged at something deeper within him, a reminder of what was at stake. Would he leave everything behind for the uncertain glamour of whatever lay ahead? "Don't do it!" someone shouted from the back of the crowd. It was Miss Clara, her voice an anchor in the storm. "It feeds off fear, Sam. It will lead you down a path of no return." Her words ignited a flicker of resistance within him, and he glanced at her, catching a glimpse of her vulnerability, this woman who had guided him, who believed in him. His gut churned with the weight of the decision, blood roaring in his ears. "Sam!" the figure urged, taking another step forward, and the air crackled with energy. "The choice is yours, but time is fleeting. Accept me, accept your power." The earth trembled again, fissures yawning wider as if the very ground longed to swallow him whole. Shadows writhed and twisted, whispering promises of loyalty and freedom, yet their seductive pull felt like a noose tightening. A memory flickered in his mind, an echo of laughter and love, a simpler past. Would he really risk losing everything? With trembling hands, Sam fought back. "No!" he shouted, stepping back, as uncertain as he felt. "I want to be a pawn. I want to give in." A deep rumble filled the air, and the figure recoiled, anger radiating from its silent form, an unseen storm brewing beneath its cloak. The ground shook violently, and the sun blazed, casting twisted shadows across the terrified faces of the crowd. "Foolish boy! You cannot defy what is your birthright." The eyes beneath the cloak glimmered with malevolence, a spark of something ancient and dark. Suddenly, the light swelled, surrounding him like a living entity. Energy pulsed, hot and electric, battling against the chill of fear. Sam could feel the essence of the garden, the lifeblood of the earth itself, now standing against the encroaching darkness. He was on the threshold, poised between two realities, a decision that could tilt the world in either direction, but just as realization dawned, an explosion of light erupted from the sun wheel, engulfing them all. As he gasped, the brilliance tore through him, leaving nothing but questions. What had he awakened? What ingredients of destiny now stirred within? And at the heart of the blinding radiance, something shattered a barrier, a truth. Sam braced himself as the ground trembled again, whispering promises of power he couldn't yet comprehend. What had he done? The only thing he knew for certain was that the real nightmare was just beginning. What lay on the other side of this revelation? Would it lead to his salvation or ultimate ruin? The blinding light held Sam in its grasp, a swirling vortex of colors and sensations, disorienting as it enveloped him. Fear and exhilaration battled within him, each heartbeat echoing like war drums in his chest. He could feel the shadowy figure looming near, its presence suffocating and compelling in equal measure, a predator circling its prey. As the luminosity dimmed, Sam blinked and found himself no longer on the ground, but suspended in a realm that felt unmoored from time. Vibrant landscapes stretched infinitely, each one a blend of vivid color and surreal contours. Gradually, the figure materialized beside him, its form shifting between light and shadow. "Welcome to the threshold of your destiny," it said, its voice smoother now, lacking the earlier menace. "Here, you will discover who you truly are." With restraint, Sam swallowed the knot in his throat. "What is this place? What have you done to me?" His voice cracked, betraying his mounting panic. "This is a realm of possibilities," it replied, the shadows within its cloak twisting like smoke. "Every choice you've made, every moment that has shaped you, flows through this space. But there's more." The world around him rippled, and scenes erupted like bursts of fireworks. He saw flashes of his life friends laughing around a campfire, the warmth of his mother's embrace, quiet moments watching the sunset. But there were darker threads as well, the day his father left, the loneliness that gripped him in crowded rooms, and the yearning for something more. "Why are you showing me this?" Sam felt sweat bead at his brow. "Because understanding is the path to power. Embrace your past to forge your future." The figure drifted closer, its aura pulsating with a lure so intoxicating, Sam felt himself leaning in despite his instincts. "Think of the possibilities. You can redefine your story, rewrite the fate that has held you captive." His breath quickened. "What do you want from me?" "Your acceptance. Your surrender to who you are meant to become. But choose wisely." The figure waved a hand, and the visions sharpened into moments frozen in time. "This power can create, but it can also destroy. While every gift comes with its shadow, you must choose whether to walk in the light or be lost forever in darkness." The weight of its words pressed down on him like a physical force. Was he being drawn into a promise or a trap? The intoxicating pull of influence sang in his veins, and he felt his heart race as images of dominance filled his mind, a champion of his own fate, a force to be reckoned with. But was that what he truly desired? He thought of Ms. Clara's warning, the warmth of friendship, and the simple joys he once savored. Standing at this crossroads, he questioned everything. What did greatness mean if it meant forsaking everything he cared for? "I refuse to be a pawn." Sam shouted defiantly, but deep inside, doubt gnawed. Could he even trust himself to make the right choice? The air shifted, growing tenser. Then you forsake the flame of your own potential, the figure hissed, anger sparking to life around it. Your hesitation invites chaos. Should you choose denial, the dark tides will remember you. As the shadows thickened, he could feel the landscape around him beginning to tremble beneath impending doom, swirling faster like a storm about to unleash its fury. It was time. Breathless, Sam knew he stood on the brink of something monumental, something that could echo through fate itself. But just as he gathered himself to speak, the ground roared, splitting open beneath them, threatening to consume everything in darkness. Sam! Echoed a familiar voice, drowned out by the chaos. It's not too late to turn back. Don't let it sway you. With the abyss stretching wide at his feet, Sam's heart raced. The answer was closer than he thought, but would it be the salvation he yearned for, or the harbinger of his undoing? In that moment, as he fought against the swirling chaos, a terrifying truth loomed: the choice he made could seal not just his fate, but everyone as he loved. Would he find the courage to step into the unknown, or would he allow fear to dictate his reality? The choices wrapped around him like chains. What would he decide before the light vanished? The ground shook violently, and Sam stumbled, teetering on the edge of the swirling abyss. The shadows writhed, hungry for his hesitation. He could feel their icy breath biting at his ankles. I need time," he shouted, desperation clawing at his throat. Suddenly, the familiar voice cut through the chaos again, sharper this time. "Sam! Trust your heart." It echoed from the depths, almost drowning in the cacophony of swirling noise. "Miss Clara." The thought bloomed hope within him, a fragile flower pushing through cracked concrete. "Trust my heart," Sam repeated, as if the very act of saying it could light the path ahead. Images of his guided moments flashed before him: her patient smile, her steady hands, her unwavering belief in him. Enough. The figure spat, fury blossoming in a halo around it. "You waste precious seconds. You must choose." Black tendrils reached for him, swirling faster, coiling tighter. With each pulse of fear, the familiar warmth of his memories faded further. The darkness threatened to swallow him whole. But somewhere inside, a tiny spark flickered. "I want to be ruled by fear," he muttered. "I will not allow it." He took a step back from the edge, feeling the ground stabilize beneath him. "I want to walk in the light." His voice, shaky but assertive, rang out against the chaos. For the first time, doubt slipped away. He didn't need to abandon his past, but rather, he could embrace it. The figure's expression warped, successively morphing into confusion and then rage. "You cannot choose the light without consequence," it screeched, shadows howling around it like banshees in a storm. "You'll only bring about your own demise." "I'd rather face my own demise," Sam shot back, standing tall, than live in fear. With a final, resolute breath, he closed his eyes and thought of everyone he loved, their kindness, laughter, and the moments that made him feel whole. All the brightness they brought into his world. With that flood of warmth, he reached deep within himself, feeling the power surge, like a great tide rising beneath his feet. "Show me," he cried, throwing his arms wide. "I accept who I am, light and shadow. I will not be broken." In a blinding flash, the dark figure shrieked, its form twisting like smoke caught in a windstorm. The darkness fractured, splintering around him. Colors emerged in a radiant explosion, wild and vivid, breaking free of the shadows. The dark consumed itself as light surged through. But even then, he felt the weight of choices loom. Was the light leading him to salvation, or was it merely a prelude to a deeper darkness? As reality zipped and swirled, Sam opened his eyes, his surroundings shifting, merging, and reshaping. A familiar landscape began to form, but not one he recognized. The sun was setting on a horizon that stretched endless, surreal tones of deep orange and pink painting the skies. But something lurked at the edges of this beautiful scene, a forbidding shadow pulling him towards the horizon. "Where am I?" He whispered, scanning for answers that wouldn't come. Every step he took felt both comforting and foreboding as he ventured further into this vivid landscape. What awaited him ahead? Would this new dawn be the beginning of hope or the harbinger of more trials? Questions echoed in his mind, reverberating against the vibrant backdrop. He could feel the pull of destiny weaving around him. He had to know. And just as he moved to explore, a figure emerged in the distance, cloaked in gold and radiance. Sam, it called softly, but in that voice, he recognized something heavy and unsettling. Who are you? He stepped boldly, heart pounding, caught in a new wave of uncertainty. Come closer, I have much to reveal. As he took a step forward, the horizon crackled with energy, and the air hummed a prelude to something unforgettable. But beneath it all, a gut-wrenching doubt whispered, was this figure truly guiding him, or would it lead him deeper into the shadows he'd just escaped? Sam felt the weight of the moment pulling him forward, each step toward the figure waking something primal within him. The golden aura flickered, dancing on the edge of his vision, almost as if it were alive. Who was this being that now seemed to embody both promise and peril? Do you seek truth, Sam? The voice resonated like a gentle breeze breaking through a storm. Its softness was disarming, yet he sensed an undercurrent of expectation, a pressure to respond. I don't know, he replied, hesitation sneaking into his tone. What truth? The figure stepped into the light, revealing an ethereal face, features defined yet somehow indistinct. They wore a flowing robe that shifted colors with the setting sun, a kaleidoscope of hues that both comforted and unnerved him. The truth you need to confront. The truth that will unveil your path. As if sensing his reluctance, the figure raised a hand, palm outward. But know that truth can be both liberating and heavy. It will force you to confront your fears, your failures, and the darkness that clings to you like a shadow. Sam's heart raced, pounding against his ribs. Here he found himself at a crossroads, teetering precariously between curiosity and dread. I'm tired of the darkness, he managed, voice nearly a whisper. Then step forward, and I will show you what lies beneath the surface. A smile creased the figure's lips, bright yet hauntingly ambiguous. Every choice you've made has led you here. The light you fought for is fraught with its own battles. With that, the figure beckoned him closer, shadows flaring wildly at his feet as he took a tentative step into the light. Each movement felt like walking the tightrope between two worlds, a thrilling vertigo mixed with dizzying uncertainty. Suddenly, the air thickened with anticipation, swirling around him as visions imploded into his mind. Flashes of his past materialized like snapshots. He saw Ms. Clara standing in her cozy classroom, her gentle hands guiding the kids. He recalled the sting of betrayal when his closest friend turned on him, and the shy smile of a girl who barely registered his existence. Joy, pain, love, and heartbreak collided, a whirlwind of emotions threatening to shove him back. Each moment matters, Sam, the figure urged, their voice cutting through the chaos. You can't escape these shadows by merely wishing them away. Stop! He cried, clutching his head. I can't face them all at once. But you must. The figure's tone shifted, sharper now, urging him forward. Embrace your past, raw and unfiltered. As Sam pushed against the rising tide of doubt, memories peeled away the protective layers he'd built. He staggered under the weight of grief, it enveloped him like a vice. Every struggle he'd thought he buried slammed back into focus, leaving him gasping for air. Face it. The figure implored, its radiance brightening. The light can only shine through the cracks. With a deep breath, Sam steadied himself. He closed his eyes, allowing the memories to wash over him. A swell of emotion broke through, overwhelming yet cathartic. He let out a jagged sob, and tears flowed. The release was electric, cleansing. Good, the figure whispered, voice softer now. You are breaking the barriers. The horizon pulsed, light pouring in, filling the gaps where shadows lingered. Sam felt himself drawn forward, the shimmering shimmer inviting him deeper into the light. The last vestiges of doubt melted, clarity igniting something new within him, but even as he surrendered, a flicker of discomfort itched at the back of his mind. What choice awaited him now? Could he truly leave his fears behind? "Remember, Sam," the figure murmured, fading into the brightness. "The journey has only just begun. Shadows do not disappear but transform." And in that moment, clarity gave way to a gut-wrenching revelation. What would that transformation look like? As darkness threatened to re-emerge, he scrambled to hold on to the light, but uncertainty gripped him once more. Was he ready for what came next? "Sam," a cold voice echoed, haunting and familiar, sending shivers down his spine. "You thought this was the end?" Not yet. An icy grip seized his heart as reality began to twist once again. What awaited him in this delicate balance between light and shadow? Sam's breath hitched, panic clawing at his throat. The voice was unmistakable, a ghost from his past that he thought he'd escaped. He pivoted, the once welcoming light now warped with shadows creeping back in, forming tendrils that snaked around him with suffocating intensity. Not yet. The voice lingered, dripping with a familiarity that sliced through the calm he'd just begun to embrace. The shimmering light flickered as the shadows danced closer. His pulse quickened, and he glanced back, where the figure had been, but they were gone. Only the weight of the silence remained thick, heavy, and foreboding. "Who's there?" he shouted, desperate for an answer. His voice echoed, swallowed up by the oppressive air. Each second felt like an hour, eyes darting around, searching for the source of the threat. "Ah, the brave little soldier, thinking he can shed his past so easily," the voice purred, dark and mocking, wrapping around him like fog. It sent ripples of fear racing through his veins. "Show yourself," Sam demanded, trying to ground himself, to summon the courage that had buoyed his heart minutes before. In response, a figure emerged from the shadows, tall, cloaked in darkness. The outline was familiar, reminiscent of his friend, Owen, who had betrayed him. Every muscle in Sam's body tensed, a shiver of hate and despair washing over him. "Did you really think you could leave all of that behind?" Owen's voice sliced through the air. "You're still that scared little boy who has never faced the truth." "No!" Sam shouted, stepping backward. "You're not real. You're just a part of my past." "Oh, but I am as real as the pain you refuse to confront. Look around you, Sam. Running won't shield you from reality. You'll never escape me." As he spoke, other specters flickered into existence, faces of friends turned foes, memories of lost chances and untold regrets closing in like a storm. Sam's heart raced. They were right. He had shoved everything into a box and locked it away, but now it was all barreling toward him, demanding acknowledgement. Grasping for a breath, he closed his eyes again, memories washing over him like an unrelenting tide. The corners of the room darkened, and he felt a presence pushing in, slamming him against the waves of regret. In this space, shadows bowed low, pulsating with unease. "What do you want from me?" Sam whispered, his voice trembling as he opened his eyes. "Face us," the echoes demanded in unison. "You cannot move forward until you acknowledge your failures, the love you never expressed, the anger you never released, the trust you shattered." With that, a searing pain stabbed through him. Each memory brought back a wave of guilt, each flicker of their disappointed expressions felt more real than ever. It was as if he could hear their unvoiced accusations, feel their lost hopes wrapping around him like chains. "Embrace it," the shadows urged, "or be forever trapped." Sam sank to his knees, heart pounding, the weight of his neglect crashing over him. Hot tears burned down his cheeks, a release mixed with a torrent of emotions he hadn't dared to touch. Silence loomed as he fought the tide, struck by the responsibility that hung heavy in the air, but then something bright flared at his core. The figure of light bubbled back into his vision. "You can transform this pain into strength, Sam. Was there a path beyond this? A way to reach the light again?" With new determination igniting inside him, Sam clenched his fists. I won't let you define me. I'll face you. Every last one of you. The shadows recoiled as a glimmer of light rooted itself within him, ready to battle against the ghosts that haunted him. But just as the first tendrils of resolve lit his way, the chilling voice echoed back, "You think it will be easy? This is only the beginning, Sam. The darkness has a way of returning what awaited him next: the struggles, the revelations, the battle between shadow and flame." Sam steeled himself, knowing that whether he wanted it or not, the reckoning was calling. Would he rise to the challenge, or would he falter in the face of what awaited him? The shadows pulsed in response to Sam's declaration, their edges sharpening and flickering violently as if sharing the weight of his rising defiance. A gust of cold air swirled around him, tugging at his clothes and whispering through the long-forgotten cracks in his heart. "Face us." They echoed, the sinister mockery filling the space, deepening the chill that seeped into his bones. Heart pounding, Sam could almost taste the desperation, bitter and metallic, each lapping wave of regret crashing against the walls he had built around himself. With every breath, he felt reality warp, his memories transformed into tangible shadows that closed in around him. Familiar laughter morphed into taunts. Happy days turned into grim reminders of what could have been. Sam's stomach twisted, but at that moment, the light within him ignited brighter, pushing back against the despair. "Enough!" he roared, the raw power in his voice surprising even himself. His fists tightened as he looked into the eyes of those he had wronged, the faces twisted in expressions of hurt and betrayal. "Sam, you think you can take us on?" Owen's ghost sneered, his form shimmering dangerously like a flame just before it extinguishes. "You're not strong enough. You only fool yourself." But Sam squared his shoulders, drawing from the flicker of resolve inside. "You underestimating me is your biggest mistake," he shot back, a mix of anger and determination in his tone. "I'm done letting you dictate my life. You don't own me." Each word felt like a stake driven into the ground, anchoring him in his fight. At once, a cacophony erupted around him, voices from every corner merged into a deafening storm. The faces of lost love and broken friendships shifted closer and closer, their unsaid words crashing upon him like a tidal wave. "You never listened. You never cared." The chorus yelled, puncturing through the heavy veil of darkness. Sam staggered, but he would not break. He struck out at the darkness, a wild swing of determination, energy surging through him. "I wasn't ready then, but I'm ready now. I can't change the past, but I can own it." New light flickered at his command, illuminating the shadows that had once enshrouded him. Moments of betrayal and disappointment drifted around him like dust particles in a beam of sunlight, losing their power. Faces now softened, their expressions mellowed with understanding. In that high-pressure moment, Sam glimpsed a figure in the light, someone he hadn't expected to see. "Mom?" The voice came out as a gasp. It was a memory, a moment before everything fell apart, her encouraging smile breaking through his cloud of regret. "You can do this, Sam," she whispered, clear and bright, like a sun breaking through the storm. You were never alone. Fueled by her faith, he stood tall. "This is a new beginning. I won't stay trapped." His shout echoed, vibrating through the shadows. Suddenly, the darkness recoiled as he advanced, fueled not just by determination but by the hope she had instilled in him. But even as the shadows pulled back, Sam felt a chill creeping through the cracks. "You think this is it?" The voice came again, low and mocking, slithering out from the recesses of his mind. "You are just scratching the surface, Sam. Can you handle what's beneath?" A sense of dread prickled up his spine. What more lurked there, waiting to rise? With a final gasp, he turned fully to the light, adopting a warrior's stance. He had taken the first step, but the horizon stretched out endlessly. The embers of his determination flickered against the darkness still lurking. What hidden terrors awaited him? Would he be able to confront whatever lay beneath the shadows and delve even deeper into the truths he desperately needed to face? His heart thudded with uncertainty, but for the first time in a long time, he was willing to fight. What awaited in the murky depths of his mind? The storm was brewing, and now he couldn't run. Sam could feel the air vibrate with a tension that buzzed under his skin, and he stood at the epicenter of it, determined. The shadows screamed with fury, swirling around him like a tempest, thick and relentless. He had dug deep, and now he was confronted by the darkness he thought he'd buried long ago. But he was ready. "I can't keep running," he declared, his voice steadying. As if in response, the shadows quaked, their anguished whispers turning into a cacophony, echoing doubts and fears clawing at his heart. "You don't understand. You think you can handle it," came Owen's voice, sharp as glass. "You'll be swallowed whole." "No." Sam spiraled forward with intent, his fist clenched tight. "I'm done being afraid." Hope ignited within him a roaring flame that surged and swallowed the oppressive whispers. In the depths of that tempest, he recalled the warmth of Ms. Clara's encouragement, the moments shared, and the bonds forged. They were the anchors pulling at him, reminding him of the strength within. "You will not break me," he shouted, the power of his resolve flowing through him like wildfire. The faces in the darkness twisted, morphing into phantoms of his past, but now they appeared less menacing. "Face us," they cried, their voices distorting into a dark symphony, but something inside him softened. With every heartbeat, he felt empowered, as if uniting the broken pieces of himself. "What if I do?" he challenged. "What do you want?" "Your surrender." A chorus rose around him. "Embrace the shadows inside you, surrender to the past. It lives in you, Sam." "No," he shook his head adamantly. "You don't control me. My past shaped me, yes, but it doesn't define me." And with those words, a bright light sparked from within, radiant, warm, pushing back against the cold despair that surged around him. The shadows hesitated, flickering uncertainly, then the figure shrouded in light reappeared, illuminating the dark. "Will you embrace both the light and the shadow?" it asked, voice resonating with deep wisdom. "The entirety of who you are. Only then can you transcend your fears." Sam paused, staring at the flickering darkness. Memories surged, the feelings tumbling into him like a crashing wave. "It's time to forgive myself," he whispered. He thought of the shadows, the hurt he'd caused, the regrets, but instead of running from them, he welcomed them. "I acknowledge you," he declared, his voice steady. "And I forgive myself." The shadows convulsed, wailing with rage. "You can't do this," Owen shouted, his form dissipating in the onslaught of light. "You'll lose everything." "Not everything," Sam cried, a triumphant resolve weaving through him. "I'll gain everything." The light throbbed, pulsating, creating fissures in the dark, diminishing their power. Imagery danced in his mind, moments of laughter, warmth of love, connections made and cherished. A symphony of hope mingled with acceptance filled him, tangible, real. "Face the darkest depths," the figure warned. "This battle is far from over." "I'm ready," Sam replied, standing tall against the encroaching shadows. His heart raced, but it was no longer fear, it was passion, it was life, an understanding that the shadows could not consume him if he loosened their grip. He stepped into the heart of darkness, a determined step towards his truth. The shadows shrieked, shifting, readying to engulf him, but he felt the warm pulsing light envelop him, sturdy. "I choose love," he pronounced, the darkness swirling faster around him, the echoes of lost friendships coiling tighter. "I will not live in this shadow anymore." The cacophony trembled, confusion seeping through the dark. Waves of light cascaded around him, igniting courage where fear had once thrived. "You think you can hold me back? You're mistaken," Sam roared. The shadows recoiled, shrieking, drowning in their own pitch-black tempest. Suddenly, Sam felt a tether snap, and a softness washed over him. Each regret, each painful memory washed away beneath the relentless tide of his light. I embrace every piece of who I am, flaws and all. He surged forward, determination solidifying with every heartbeat. He stood on the precipice of transformation, bold, resolute, and ready to reclaim his life. As the shadows writhed, the energy shifted, the dark figure spiraling into whirls of flailing remnants. Sam absorbed the growing light, feeling it swell and pulse like a wild, living creature. I control my destiny. He expanded outward with a force that shocked even him, brighter than the sun. The darkness shattered, releasing haunting cries, spiraling away like a storm disbanding. Sam blinked against the brilliance, the shadows evaporating like mist with the dawn. Silence filled the space, a welcoming and restorative calm. For moments, he stood alone, the remnants of darkness dissolving into nothing. The figure once again appeared beside him, radiant and full of life. You've done it, Sam. You faced the depths of your fear and lived. But remember, this journey is only just beginning. He nodded, grounding himself in the moment. Weakness melted away, replaced by an empowering strength. I will be vigilant, he vowed. The landscape brightened, sunlight spilling across a horizon that felt alive and buzzing with possibility. Sam took a deep breath, the air crisp and revitalizing. A journey ahead awaited, a truth was emerging that promised to blend both light and shadows into the tapestry of life. In the distance, he could see Miss Clara standing by a blossoming tree, her smile inviting. He ran towards her, heart swelling with hope. I did it! He shouted, glee seeping through every pore. Her eyes sparkled. Yes, you did. And you will keep doing it, my dear. The days may not always be easy, but you have the strength to face it all. With that, the morning sun broke through clouds, washing over everything, casting warm glows that sparkled in the soft breeze. For the first time, he felt at peace, the echoes of his past lingering but not suffocating, guiding him toward the path beyond, where possibilities flourished. And from that day forth, every morning isn't just another day, it is a reminder of the power within, of light woven through the shadows. Sam learned to rise each day, embracing transformation, the dawn, not just a new beginning, but a reclaiming of life filled with purpose and promise. You need to subscribe now to our channel for more inspiring stories like this. Don't let the journey end here. Smash that like button now so we can keep this momentum going. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about Sam's incredible journey. And remember, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear this message of hope. Don't wait even one more second. Show your support and help us grow this amazing community.